Hello, my narcissistic abuse family. I'm cranking out another video here. This is no joke, my third video of the day because I have no time to breathe to myself these days with the pandemic going on. My children are home. I am attempting homeschooling. My husband was home today. It's so much. So, what I'm talking about today is why are narcissistic people so cruel to the good people in their lives, to partners, to their children? Why do narcissists target people so maliciously? They're so cruel, they're so inhumane. It's incomprehensible how terrible they can actually be to other people. So I have a couple of specific reasons. Number one, I'm going to start with is that they are control fanatic freaks. And the reason why they're control freaks is because, think about it, they have constructed this elaborate protective facade to shelter their fragile egos and their damaged self-perceptions. So instead of dealing with their abuse, their trauma, their damage, they have made up this whole grandiose, elaborate persona of themselves that they are working ferociously at all times to protect. So they're control freaks. Think about it. They don't want any unpredictable variables. They don't want any uncontrolled elements in their lives. So everything around them that they can control, they do it because they don't want to be threatened in any way, because they're so fragile. They're so vulnerable deep down inside. So they're trying to control everything around them. So that involves stepping on everyone else. They're stepping on everyone around them because they're just trying to elevate themselves. It's a horrific mentality, but this is what narcissists do. That's why it's a personality disorder, because it's so irrational. So, you know what? Way back in 2005, when I was trying to climb out of the whole narcissistic discard that I suffered from the creep that dumped me, there was no books on narcissistic abuse. So I immersed myself in the relationship health, self-help section of Barnes & Noble, and the best book I found was about controlling people. I read it cover to cover, and there I highlighted like every other word practically. And it's because everything this book said was applicable to the narcissistic ex that I was actually supposed to marry. Thank God that did not happen. But they're very controlling. They're dominating because they're trying to regulate everything in their life, everything surrounding them. So, like I said, they're just, you know what it is? I also say this frequently. Misery loves company, and that is the narcissist's jam. They are so miserable, and they're just trying to drag everyone else around them down because they can't take it. They're just awful, and misery loves company. So they're controlling. That's the first one. A second one is that I can't even see this in the second one is that they're ferociously jealous and envious. So let's take in, you know this. If you any experience you've had with the narc, you know that they're jealous and envious unless they have tried to bury this characteristic or trait, or they've just, they've cloaked it in like or passive aggressive insults and things like that. Like they'll always be cutting other people down because they're judgmental as hell as well. But they're jealous. They're so jealous. So if your parent is a narcissist, they saw your potential. They saw your youth and that you had the whole world ahead of you, and they couldn't take it. That's how wicked and small these people are, is that they're so jealous. They're so overwhelmed by jealousy and envy that they just radiate it out. They just want to make you pay for how awesome you are. They want to tear you down in any way that they can, because it's like the psychological defense mechanism. It's like sour grapes. Like, oh, I didn't want those. I didn't want those sweet, delicious grapes because they're sour. So that's how they justify it in their mind. Or sweet lemons, like, oh, I love eating this rotten bologna sandwich. It's delicious. That's sweet lemons. They rationalize it in their mind like, oh, my shit situation is great. I love it. That's a defense mechanism. Sweet lemons, just like sour grapes. They're so envious. They're so jealous of everyone around them. And if you're part of their life, that's the irony of a narcissist, is that they try to align themselves with people that they aspire to be or that are special, that they feel are affluent or have something that they can align themselves with to better themselves. So they choose the people in their lives, their victims, as, someone that they aspire to be or who has things that they aspire to have. So rest assured, if they're targeting you and they're coming down on you, they're jealous of you. They're envious of you, of your potential, of your integrity, of your character. So that's another reason why they're super malicious and mean and nasty. Another reason is because they're projecting. You've heard this term before. It's like, and this is one of my favorite Instagram posts. It's never about you, you guys. If someone is being mean to you or tearing you down or bullying you, it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. It's all their crap. They want to dump it on you because they can't deal with it themselves because they're so feeble and fragile and, they just can't handle it. So they want to dump it on a great target, which was us. Not anymore. So those are some main reasons why narcissists are so vicious and malicious, and they try to hurt us so much. It's all their crap. So they're envious, they're control freaks, I can't read this in the, they are, projecting. They're definitely projecting. That's like a huge, it's what they do. They project all of their crap onto everybody else because narcissists don't want to deal with their crap. That's why we have to deal with these people, because they have all these unresolved, awful issues, and they make it everyone else's problem instead of actually taking responsibility. Like, we know narcissists will never take accountability or responsibility for anything in their life, like all of their wrongdoings. So whatever kind of baggage they have, it's not their fault. They will never assume responsibility for it. They'll never assume responsibility for the issues that they have, which is ironic because I know myself, personally speaking, and you too, we assume responsibility for like everything, stuff we haven't even done. We blame ourselves, and it's not our fault, but, the narc has no problem doing this. We assume responsibility to a fault. Anyway, I hope this helped you, give you some insight as to why narcissists, miserable, awful narcissists, take all their junk out on us, on everyone around them, because they just won't and they can't deal with their own issues. They never will. This is one of the most frustrating elements to a narcissist, They'll never seek professional help or intervention because they're weak and they won't do it. They have no ambition to better themselves or better themselves for other people. They just want to drag everyone else down instead of trying to make better out of their lives, out of themselves. And as they get older, they only get worse. I'll do a video about it, but there's no hope. There's no hope. I always was clinging on to hope my whole life, like, oh, maybe I can get through to these people, referring to my parents. Even in the relationship, I was like, oh, maybe I can, change him. You do that in a relationship. I'll change them, I'll make them better, yada yada. Doesn't happen. So we're bumped and we're bruised, but more than anything, you guys were blessed because we're getting over all of this abuse and toxicity, and we're way better people because of it. So I love you guys. I love all of you. Thank you for coming on this journey with me, this public therapy, and I hope I gave you something of value in this video. Please throw me a thumbs up, subscribe. That would be super great. I love you all. See you soon.